what's your secret? You got the kind of vibe that leaves one speechless. It could be model multitasking genius. Yeah, you got it all.
Welcome back to Breakthrough Conversations with Rhoda and Company. This is where we have real conversations that help you grow, lead, and break through. And today's episode is rooted in a powerful milestone. 250 years of this country's journey, progress has been made. But the question remains, are we leading in a way that reflects the values we say we stand for? I'm joined today by Paula Robinson. Welcome, Paula.
Thank you.
A seasoned leader with nearly 30 years of experience in strategic program management, governance, and advancing people agendas. She currently serves as a VP and Legal People Agenda Manager, where she leads organizational initiatives that strengthen professional development and create a true sense of belonging. And Paula has deep expertise in belonging, opportunity, and inclusion strategy. She has led enterprise efforts, built sustainable programs, and is certified in tools like the Intercultural Development Inventory and Bold Inclusive Conversations, helping leaders navigate complex and often uncomfortable dialogue with intention and impact. Her work sits at the intersection of leadership, accountability, and culture. And that is exactly where today's conversation lives. We're talking about progress, what has changed for women and underrepresented groups, what still needs work, and what leadership must look like over the next 5 to 10 years if we are serious about moving forward. So let's get into it. Welcome, Paula.
Thank you, Rhoda. What an introduction. You make a girl feel good.
Yes. And I must say that Paula is an original native of St. Louis, but she traveled here from afar to be with me in person today.
Yes, I'm humbled and thankful to be here.
Thank you so much. So, Paula, give us your story. What led you into the work of belonging and inclusion?
So I would say if we're talking in the spirit of America 250, and we'll quote Abraham Lincoln,
Right.
7 years ago,
Right.
but not quite that long ago, but it'll go back to high school, actually. And this didn't even come up as a memory until 2017. And so I'll get to that here in a minute. So my parents, I'm one of 5. I'm the 4th of 5 children. And my dad always told me, you're going to be a lawyer. No questions about it. You're going to be a lawyer. And I was going along that track. And as life came about, I'm in high school, getting myself prepared. And I was part of this group called Positive Student Leadership Team, PSLT. And I was president.
Right.
And the whole purpose of it was to just go around to the student body and ask about where they felt they belonged, where they didn't. And I really took that to heart on ensuring that the life and the environment for the students felt safe, right? So fast forward, I graduate high school, I go off to college, I get my degree, I am now in my career and family and all the things, and that was still sitting in the background, right? Corporate governance paralegal, assistant corporate and board secretary. So I'm helping boards and leadership with their fiduciary duties and governance and corporate management. And the pause comes on June 21st, 2017, when we get the call about my mom, who is then diagnosed with cancer. And so we start on this journey with her. We're starting to clean things up. And she comes across this box from high school of my belongings, pulls out the book from Positive Student Leadership Team. And of all the things to give me in the box, she gives me that.
Right.
And so I'm looking through it, and it's at this crossroads in my career where I'm thinking, I'm doing more in this space on a volunteer level, but what does that mean? What is going on? And I'm feeling that that desire inside to do more. And an opportunity came up, which you know about that opportunity, to become director of DEI at an organization. And I just knew that was it. I knew that this was a huge pivot from what I was doing, but it took me back to that was my destiny. So how did I get here?
Right.
I was destined to be here. I just took a long road to get there. And so when I think about that, I always go back to what is organizational effectiveness and what's at the center of that, and it's culture.
Yes.
And as much as I enjoyed fiduciary duty and governance, and still do, because that's part of being organized, I always look at what's at the core, and it's the people. And so I came back to the people.
Look at God. And
Yes.
who would have known? I didn't know that he was even using me in that moment when you just fell in my spirit when the opportunity came forth. And I talked to my leader and I was like, what about Paula? And she was like, yes, Paula. And we could
Absolutely.
visualize you in the role. So that's a really good story, Paula. And it's also a great message for our listeners to remember that that dream or that purpose that is gnawing at you, that it's never too late. It's never too late
Absolutely.
to pivot and get aligned with what the universe has in store for you.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So when you reflect on your journey, is there something that made the work personal for you?
So I would say just what I shared, it was personal because I was reminded of what my mom felt was my destiny. As she was closing out a chapter in her life, she knew you still need to carry the torch. And so carry the torch. And I am very much a person when I'm called, I'm all in. And so that was the thing that motivated me and kept me going. But what I also realized is that it's not just that moment in time. It's a pattern.
Right.
It's watching, it's analyzing, it's dissecting, digesting, and just thinking, what is going to make this work? And we'll talk about sustainability. And then where are the areas where it doesn't work? Right. And just being very deliberate in identifying what's going to work and what isn't.
Right. So true. Being very intentional.
Yes.
So, Paula, when you think about 250 years of progress, what stands out most to you for women in underrepresented groups?
So at America 250, I look at we have made remarkable progress. Number one, we still have progress to go. Number two, because progress is relative, right? So when we think about where we were and we think about voting and access and leadership opportunities, those were things that we didn't see at the inauguration of our country. We look forward and think of all of those opportunities that we have. It isn't linear. And it isn't moving at warp speed either. So when we think about the world of AI and how quickly things are moving here, we're like, this is just like fast, fast and rapid and rapid. That space hasn't moved so quickly. So I always say progress is relative. And it's what do you see as progress? What do I see as progress? It's been slow and steady wins the race. So instead of thinking linear, generationally, you have these ebbs and flows, and you'll have one generation that moves it a tick, and then we plateau. That next generation moves it that tick, we plateau. And it's just been this tick, plateau, tick, plateau that gets us to 250 years later. We do have a lot of advancement. It doesn't stop. It can't stop. We have a lot of room to grow.
Remember the privilege walk. So to me,
yes,
that activity for those listening is where you line people up and then you ask questions. For example, if you're a first generation college graduate, take one step forward. And by the end of that activity, you often see people who are underrepresented or in minority status, they're further in the back, and others who've had greater opportunity are further in the front. And that walk is so powerful.
yes.
But what I notice is when I'm participating and I'm in the walk, I'm further ahead than my mother would have been.
Absolutely.
So I can answer yes to many of the questions that she couldn't.
Yeah.
And even if I applied those same questions to my sons,
Mhm.
they could answer yes to even more than I can answer to. So that's another way you can see
Yes.
the progress.
Yes. And
Mhm.
again, it's not linear,
Right.
generational and plateau.
Yes. Yes.
Because my parents, I can go back, my
Mhm.
dad was in the military,
Right.
and his GI Bill told him where he could and
Mhm.
couldn't live.
Mhm.
Those aren't things that we would be,
Right.
subjected to
Right.
today.
Right.
So it definitely is
Yes.
eye-opening.
So, Paula, in your observation or experience, what are some of the patterns or behaviors that continue to hold organizations back?
What holds organizations back? I would say twofold. One is assuming intent matters more than impact.
Mhm.
Um, Leaders genuinely want to do the right thing.
Mhm. Mhm.
Like, you want to always stand on the side of right. As I
Right.
always say, like, we stand on the side of right. So you want to do the right thing. But sometimes decisions may be made with the intent in mind and not mindful of the impact.
Right.
And we can't shy away from the people. It always goes back to the people because there's feeling, there's sentiment. We can do engagement surveys to
Right.
understand, what people are thinking from a cultural perspective, from a technology perspective. But if at the core we're not looking at how the people work together, that's a huge miss.
Right.
Um, Another is when we challenge comfort.
Mm.
And by that, I mean that growth requires there to be some uncomfortable moments.
Yes.
And we love comfort. We love our security blanket. I love my cup of coffee.
Mhm.
So stepping outside of comfort is uncomfortable.
Mhm.
So it's easy to navigate in this is what it is,
Mhm.
this is what we know,
Mhm.
versus how do we challenge that?
Mhm.
Who are we listening to ensure that we are
Mhm.
challenging that echo chamber?
Right. Right.
But when we assume everything's fine, we don't need to
Mhm.
change,
Mhm. Right.
we're not embracing
Mm.
the uncomfortableness
And the possibilities.
and the possibilities.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very
That's what
very
evolution
insightful.
is. That's what innovation
Right.
is. It's
Right.
all about, well, we need to challenge what's here now.
Mhm.
A Ford Model T then is
Mhm.
not what you see in the Ford Mustang
Right.
today.
Right.
There had to be this challenge of the innovation. And that
Mhm.
starts with, we need to be uncomfortable with what is going to be the next design.
Right.
How are we going to improve mileage? And
Mhm.
all of those things have to be taken into
That's so
consideration.
true.
But you have
That's
to
so true.
make space for it.
Mm. So, in your opinion, what does it actually look like for a leader to lead in a way that aligns with fairness and opportunity for all?
Good question. So there has to be a level of empathy.
Mhm.
I think Forbes, for at least the last 4 years, has said, what is their top leadership quality that they look
Mhm.
for? And it's empathy,
Mhm.
just empathetic leadership.
Mhm.
In empathy, that's also curiosity.
Mhm.
Um, we are designed as curious creatures, as
Yes.
humankind. Are we using that, and are we leveraging that to the
Mhm.
best of our abilities
Mhm.
to lead across an organization? Um, when we are actively seeking perspectives
Mhm.
and challenging
Mhm.
those assumptions, that's where we start to see that curiosity.
Yes.
So I think about the concept of one size fits all.
Mhm.
And oftentimes, because of, being an organization where it's agile or we're trying to maintain efficiencies, this is just what it's going to be. And we put
Mhm.
it in this bucket and we say this one size fits all.
Right.
And I think of empathetic leadership more as one size fits one,
Mm.
which is very hard when you're
Mhm.
leading a large organization
Mhm. Mhm.
or a multi-thousand
Mhm.
people organization. How do you individualize in the collective,
Mhm.
right? How do you look at your team one by one and look at what makes sense for each of them individually,
Mm.
but also know that collectively, this is how we are going to work together.
Mhm. Mhm.
So it takes the little moments of meeting with them
Mhm.
one-on-one, understanding who they are at their core, what they like and don't like. Some people like outward praise.
Right.
Others would rather you just tell them,
in
private.
Yeah, that's so true.
One size fits
Meeting
one.
people where they are.
Meet them where they are.
One size fits one.
Yes.
I love that.
Yes.
And you just mentioned some of the behaviors and practices that leaders can do. Are there any other everyday behaviors that build trust and inclusion on a team?
So, just as I was saying with, for those who want to be acknowledged and recognized publicly, do that. Be generous with that. I think sometimes we are so quick to give a negative rating when we go online and it says, what was your rate? We're so quick to say what went badly.
Right.
Let's celebrate the good. There's so much happening in the world where we don't celebrate the good. And it doesn't take that long to do. So give credit generously is one area. Be very consistent in feedback. We shouldn't wait until the end of the year. We shouldn't wait till mid-year to give people feedback. It should be an ongoing, evolving conversation, especially when you as a leader are looking at growing your team, because by growing your team, you're growing yourself.
Right.
It's reciprocal.
Yes.
So an everyday behavior, inviting those quieter voices to the discussion, because sometimes they may not feel like they can come forward, but give them that space. Or if they may not want the space, ask them on the side and see, do you want to speak up?
Right.
Give them that voice. Because a lot of what we see is people just want to be seen and heard in the way they want to be seen and heard.
That's right. Because not everyone is extroverted. Some people are introverted.
Right.
And more introverted people tend to think about what they're going to say instead of just jumping into the conversation. And sometimes they have to be probed and asked or invited. Invited in to speak.
Yep.
So, Paula, what's one hard truth leaders need to hear right now?
Culture isn't just the writing on the wall. It's not the slogan as you walk through the building. Are you living it? Walk it like I talk it.
Right.
If I'm going to say
walk it like I talk.
Exactly right. Walk it like I talk it. So if you're going to say this is what we stand by that.
Yes.
So you should see the actions that model the words. There's one thing to walk away from. And if that's a hard truth that we don't often see, it's having the slogan and not modeling the slogan.
Right. It's just words on the wall.
Just words on the wall. Just model.
Live it.
Live it.
Yeah.
Breathe it.
And if you're not, be willing to do the work internally as a leader to uncover why this is challenging for you to live. And then, pivot.
Right. Because that goes back to the intent and impact. Employees are definitely paying attention to, if you say it, are you going to model it?
Right. They definitely are.
Yep.
So, Paula, looking to future focus in the next 5 to 10 years or so, what should leaders be prioritizing if they want to move from intention to real impact?
I think a lot of this will come with developing people leaders. We often talk about how things start from the top of the house.
Right.
And what we'll generally see is that the top of the house are sharing and conveying that this is our culture.
Right.
And they are living that out. As we go that layer down, where are they feeling and feeding into that slogan at the top? Because if you start to miss out on that middle management, and that's trickling down to the rest of the team and then the employees, there's a huge miss there.
So true.
Yep.
The cascade.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
What skills or mindsets would define effective leaders in the future?
So we go back to empathy, adaptability. I always use the quote, have a plan with the ability to pivot.
Yes.
Because we can always have a strategy, but you have something that comes up externally that you weren't expecting,
Right.
be able to pivot. Emotional intelligence is key. It's easy to be tactical. And I don't want to minimize that there's a skill set that comes with the position, but human connection and being able to understand goes way deeper than being able to create,
Yes,
a presentation or a document.
So true.
Navigating disagreements respectfully. So I always think about how we often don't want to be confrontational, but in human behavior, it's actually necessary. It's healthy. So long as it's functional conflict, that's healthy confrontation. And we should be able to disagree.
Right.
That's where we get from the Model T to the Mustang that we're at now. Dysfunctional conflict is where we have the toxic disagreements. But functional conflict, we should be able to do that effectively. Being agile. Again, plan, ability to pivot.
Right. Don't be so married to the authorship of something that you created or you thought that's how it should go. Yeah, but be ready and willing to pivot.
Right.
That also makes me think about the importance of diversity of thought. So even in your creating as a leader, whatever plan or strategy you're working on, that's why it's important to bring in multiple voices and perspectives along the way.
Absolutely.
Because then you have what I believe is a better outcome or product.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Think about something as simple as a regional perspective when you think about diversity of thought.
Right.
And you have a stand-up meeting every day at 8 a.m. You have a team in Asia. It's 8 p.m.
Right.
So if we could just acknowledge that and say every now and then we'll flip it where it is 8 p.m. for us and 8 a.m. And just, again, intent, impact.
Yes.
How differently that person feels that you recognize, acknowledge, and then you made the change.
And what you just described is the beauty of the work of inclusion.
Yes.
It's not some big moment. It's the small moments. Like you just described, you can have a team in Asia and your team in the U.S. It's 8 a.m. for U.S., 8 p.m. for them. Just simply rotating that makes both teams feel belong, seen, special, cared for.
Yes. The simple things go a long way. Like you said, we don't need the big spectacle. It doesn't need to be this grandeur.
Right.
The little things.
Yes.
They go a long way.
Great example. So what gives you hope, Paula, when you think about the next generation of leaders?
What gives me hope? What I do see is that there's more willingness to challenge assumptions. And that makes me hopeful because we can see that there's some areas where challenge is necessary. And so I remain hopeful when I see that we're willing to challenge. Being authentic. I see now more and more that there's a desire for authenticity and valuing authenticity. So if that continues to be part of what this next generation, drives for, I think we'll really see that shift in leaders. Being transparent.
Right.
Transparency is huge because say it like you mean it.
Right.
But with kindness, in truth. Recognize that leadership isn't just about position. It's about influence.
Yes.
So when we think about the privilege of leadership, and sometimes that word can be a bit triggering. It's not intended to be that way. Intent versus impact. It's not intended to be that way. It's saying you are in a position where you can influence, where you can make a difference, where you can turn that meeting from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. And that's powerful.
It is.
That is powerful.
It is. I wish that more individuals understood the power of leadership. That word is so key. You just said influence, because if they're not being intentional about their leadership and how they lead others, then you run the risk of unintentionally influencing people in an adverse way.
Absolutely.
Leaders have the potential to influence and impact their individual employees' mental health, emotional well-being, all of those things. And it don't just stop at work.
Yep.
They carry that with them. It sometimes can lead to some trauma. And that you don't manage that away easily. So as a leader, you should be thinking about, what impact am I having? What impact do I want to have? And am I exhibiting those behaviors and practices that will lead to that?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. Well, Paula, we're going to shift. We're going to go to what I call rapid fire.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So I want you to answer with whatever comes to mind.
Okay.
So the first question I have is, what's one leadership behavior that builds trust fast?
Ooh, OTS.
OTS.
Own that script.
Own that script.
Situation. Whatever you want to put in that S,
own it. That is so true. Own that. Yeah. One mistake leaders make when trying to be inclusive.
Talking more than listening. Listen.
Yeah. Listen.
Listen.
One action someone can take this week to be a better human or leader.
Ask someone else on your team for their suggestion, for their thoughts.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Simple.
If every listener took one thing from this conversation, Paula, what should it be?
We can all be empathetic leaders. It doesn't start from the top. It's all within us. Own that.
Own that.
Yes.
I love that. Well, Paula, thank you so much.
Thank you.
This was a powerful conversation. It's a real reminder that progress is not just something we talk about. It is something we choose through our actions every day. So 250 years later, the responsibility is still in front of us. Not just to acknowledge the past, but to lead in a way that creates better experiences for the people around us right now. So to everyone listening, take one insight from today and apply it. That is how change happens. Thank you for tuning in to Breakthrough Conversations with Rhoda and Company. And Paula, again, thank you. We appreciate you. And to those listening, your breakthrough begins with how you choose to lead. Thank you.
Hey, what's your secret? You got the kind of vibe that leaves me speechless. It could be model multitasking genius. Yeah, you got it all. Hey, what's your story? A kick-ass mom and 40 under 40. A soccer practice in your high heel glory. Yeah, you do it all.